Hey crafty friends, welcome back to the Old Paper Lady. I'm Lori. If you're new here, hi, welcome. Thank you for joining us. I've got a bunch of scrap papers of different colors of assortment that I'm gonna pull out and stamp on, maybe. We'll see how things work. I just got this spread out here, and it is just like a big, it's not even really cardboard, but it's like a thicker wrapping paper. So I'm just going to take and do some stamping on some stuff today. Just play with my stamps. That's what I've got in mind. Hope everybody is hanging in there and doing okay. At the moment, I hadn't really got, a whole lot of journal things in mind for these stamps. I'm just stamping, and then we'll just use it for decorating. I thought I was going to be able to use this, but I think that's going to cause some issues there. So I was wanting to stamp off on this, I think was what I was planning on doing, but I think it's going to buckle it up too much. I think we'll just see. I'm not really too worried about it. Don't have to be perfect, you know what I'm saying? We're just playing with their stampy bits. That's all I'm doing. Hope everybody's hanging in there and having a good weekend. I did see where there was a few places that had some tornadoes. Ooh, and got really torn up. I'm not sure exactly where at. I just saw videos of places that were having tornadic areas. Just like a few houses and that. I don't know the name of the town. It never did say, or I may have caught it too late. But just keep people in your thoughts and prayers is all I'm saying for the storm activity going around. I'm just I'm gonna take and push just down here. Hopefully we can get some good coverage. I don't know if I covered these good or not, but we'll see here in a minute. I reckon, won't we? Ooh, I like that. I do like that. That is fun. And this is just on my coffee dyed background paper. That's what I'm using. I thought we'd make us a few pieces of this, and then actually on this coffee dye paper you can do multicolored type things. So I thought about trying that. I hadn't played with my stamps in a while, so I said, why not? Why not? Most of the time, if I use my stamps, it's usually just to do, like a little piece here and there in the other place, and then I'll take and use it for labels. And that's usually what I use my stamp pieces for, is labels, honestly. Some of this we'll use as pieces for decoration bits, and then we may just take and use some of it, like where this is half stamped over here. I'm fine with that. Well, it turned out pretty good, didn't it? Hush up, y'all. That one turned out better than the first one. And then this piece, I was just going to take and stamp off on it. And we can fold the pieces in half. It'll be really sturdy that way. And we can use that as background pieces. That's what I was thinking. So there's one. I like that. So I'm just going to take and wipe them off here, because I may do one with a different color. This is why I said I needed to wait and do stamping on the day that I was going to be off work, because it gets quite messy. Or I get quite messy. I should say me. So I was in here today and I pulled out my stuff and was getting ready to do my stamping video, and little Moonbeam was here. I walked into the kitchen and come back in here, and she done had a stamp pad all over her hand in the bathroom trying to wash it off. And I was like, I just left you. I was like, what are you doing? She said, I'm trying to get this black sticky off of my hand. So yeah, she was in here and just picked up my stamp pad and got black ink all over her hand. But we got it washed off real quick with soap and water, so she didn't freak out. Alright, so that's a good one. I like those. Those are pretty neat. I got some different colors. Let's try to do a few different colors. I like to do that too. So I'm going to be using some blues and purples. And I don't have a whole lot of colors. So there's a ground espresso. Let's see, we've got the pink. I really don't have a whole lot of colors here. I have tea dye. Let's do actually, I do have the smaller colors here. Let's pull this out. That's going to take a lot of beating that on there. I'm going to do some of this. I'm going to do one side in purple, I think I am. We'll see if it works. And this is going to take a lot of smacking this ink on here. I'm just letting y'all know, because this is a small ink pad. So we're just going to try it and see how it turns out. It may not work, and it may be pretty, but you don't know till you try it, you know what I'm saying? So we're just going to do that. Most of the time what I do is I'll take like the plain paper like I'm doing now, and I'll stamp a little bit here and there on it and just use that as labels and stuff like that with the smaller pieces or the smaller stamps, and I'll cut those up and use those. And then I'll take like pretty background. I got a bunch of pretty backgrounds up here that we're going to do label stamps on here in just a minute. I hope I got enough ink on this. Probably not. Probably do not. But we are about to find out. Ooh wee, yeah, that turned out good, didn't it? Hush up. Ooh, that is surprisingly good. Alright, I'm going to do one more purple side. Because this is really like a, you know, a stamp that where we can take and cut the individual pieces out and do some, you know, background pieces and stuff like that with it. I don't really have a whole lot of the Tim Holtz or whatever background pieces and things like that, but this is one that I do have that kind of resembles that. So I said I'm going to use this, and I do have, you know, like a bunch of stampy looking stamps. I mean, like they're like postage stamp type things. And I am actually surprised at how well this distress ink worked on there. I thought it was going to be awful light because, you know, like I said, I didn't get complete coverage. I didn't think I did, but apparently I did. Shoot. At least I picked a good juicy one, because some of them are, you know, not as inky as some of the others. So, okay. And again, I know that's going to be a little bit off the side over here, and I'm fine with that. Fine and dandy with that. This would be real pretty to do in red and green too for Christmas time. Oh yeah, that turned out really good. That's darker than the first one. Maybe I pressed harder on that one, you reckon? Okay. Lay these off over here. Stamp this off on this. I just wanted something where I wouldn't have to worry about keep wiping my mat off, and I still got the edge of the mat anyways. Knucklehead. So by the time I get done with this, my fingers are going to be all kinds of colors. So I don't care. I'll have some pretty stuff to craft with. And I'll just go in here, and if I have to, I'll use nail polish remover to get that off of my hands and my fingernails. I ain't really worried about that. Okay, so I think we got that one good and wiped out. Let's put it off to the side. We done played with you. So I have like sunflower, and then these are a bunch of different roses. It's real pretty. But I really like that one there because it's more where you can cut the pieces apart and see. And then I have like this is where like it's a bunch of different stamps. That was a Dollar Tree. And then I really like this with the butterflies on it. That one's real pretty. I want to definitely do a couple of them. I am going to do a couple of these in purple. So when I first started doing this, I was like, oh, I don't have any stamps, so I can't do any of the so-called grungy stamping, you know, and making the little bits and cluster bobs and stuff like that, like Gail makes or what have you. And then so I said, well, I started shopping on Temu, of course, and so I got some stamps from them. And then so that's where a lot of my stamps came from, was Temu or Hobby Lobby. I got a few from there, and Dollar Tree actually. I think if I place this right, I can get 3 on this, because this is a 4x6 stamp. And I do have the stamping pads. I just wants to point and just do this just right here, just as fine. Don't have to worry about getting it in and off of the stamp pad. Don't have to worry about none of that. And I know there's somewhere there are professional stampers watching this and going, what in the world are you doing, woman? I don't know. I'm just playing. That's what I'm doing. Ooh wee, hush up, look at that. Ooh, I love that. We're going to do one here and one there. Then I want to do one in black. I want to do one in brown, like a of the butterfly bits. And then all of these I'll cut up and put in one of my little cluster making boxes. That's what I want to do with these. Which, you know, I need to set and make different colors out of like a page for each color and cut it up. But I know I'm doing purple coming up really soon, lavender, and then a purple rose journal. So that's what I got in the works coming up. Oh yeah. So then after this, I think I need to find a dark blue. And see, and then I have these little ink pads from the Hobby Lobby. So yeah, I got pretty much, it had the whole color scheme of what I like to use and make. And I said, well, that would be perfect. I just need to have the time to stamp. You know what I'm saying? I just really just need to sit here and take a day and just stamp up a bunch of stuff. I mean, I really do. Oh, that's pretty. That didn't get as good, but that's okay. Don't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be perfect. You know what I'm saying? And I just chose to use the tea-dye background paper because I like the different tones that are in the background of it. Because each sheet is a different background. See, like this is different. And then you have this one. And then there's this. And then there's this. So each sheet's a different background. And I like the coffee dye circles as well, but I thought maybe it would be a little bit too dark to do my purple and blues on. I know I could have done that up here and then did a half one down here, but I'm fine with this. I just want the whole sheet. And that is my finger that pops when I do that. This finger pops real bad. Yep. So there we go. I like that. That's going to be pretty. Like I said, I'm just going to stamp these off over here on this background piece. And then when we get a bunch of stamps and that on it, I'll cut it up. But it probably won't be for a while. Because that would be a good, you know, background to take and build clusters on. That's what I was thinking anyways. To do like some grungy clusters. Why don't I get one of these to hold that with while I'm scraping it with the other one so I don't get it all over my fingers. That would be smart, wouldn't it? Knucklehead. But like I said, I knew coming into this that I was going to make a mess, and I was fine with that. And I still need to take a shower and wash my hair so I can go to work tomorrow. I'm talking about working Sunday. This is y'all's, I'm filming this Saturday for y'all's Sunday's video, but I'll be working Sunday. Let's see, let's get this darker tone one here. And put these on that. Let's see, what do we got? Gathered Twig. I think that would be pretty, because it's a little darker tone. And then I pulled these because, you know, we can take this and stamp on that. I have the colored paper. That's what I was thinking anyways. Have the colored paper and then just stamp on it with the black. Just so we have a little bit of options. And some of them are good size to where you can put one of these on, have a different colored background. And some of them are good, you know, where you can just make whatever you want. It's your stuff. Do what you want to with it, you know. I really hope. Yeah, that's wet. I was like, because it wasn't looking like it was leaving much on it. I was like, I really hope that that is working on here. All right. Let's try it and see what we get. Now this is the Gathered Twig. Yep. Gathered Twigs Distress Ink. So let's see what we get. I think it'll be pretty on this where it's got a little bit darker background or a little bit more color to it. Ooh, hush up, girl. Ooh, I do like that. That is pretty. That looks perfect on that background. Heck yeah, let's do 2 more sets. Ooh, I like that a lot. Ain't that gonna be beautiful? Heck yeah, it is. And then I've got my music stamp. I keep it on my 4x6, and I'll just take and stamp a whole page backgrounds with that, with just different colors. And that's what I do with it. It's fun to do that. Just sit down with just different color sheets and just stamp it. And I'm out of all of that. So that's why I haven't been using a whole lot of the background stamp stuff with the music stamp, because I've used it all. So I think this would be beautiful, you know, on a cluster, a pocket, a tag, anything like that. You know what I'm saying? I love it. I think they're turning out great. And I even love how that there is misprinted. I don't care. I love it. And I think it was just where I didn't rub right in the middle of that stamp, but that's okay. I think they're coming out great looking, actually. I love that right there. I bet that'd be really pretty on that, on the coffee dyed paper. Stamped with the espresso. Ooh, I bet that would be pretty. Yep. I like that a lot. I like the imperfect stamp. It's fine and dandy. Okay, so now I don't really care to do that in black. Let's pull out I'm going to put out one of these coffee dyed papers. Yeah, that's super dark, ain't it? All of them super dark. Okay, let's try this one here. That would be fun. Heck yeah, it would. Oh, give me this paper pack, heifer. Here, let's do that one too. I like that. That'll give us some options. Like I said, this kit came from Digital Fit on Etsy, and the tea dye kit came from Country Mouse Prints. And I just went on there and looked for coffee and tea dye background papers that I liked. And these, and that's what they came out with, were these. So I'm going to do these two. Let's find our, we got Roasty Hinge. We got a real dark brown in this one right here. I just want, it just says brown. So let's see here. Oh yes, heck yeah. Ooh, that's juicy. Look at that. That's soaking that up. Put this over here. Oh yeah, that's gonna be awesome. All right. Now let's look at this here. Now this is gonna be pretty. Get a hold of it. Trying to get a hold of it, not get the ink off of it, or get it all over my fingers. Oh, look at that. I love that. That is pretty. Okay. Excuse me for coughing. Been really wheezy, and I don't know what else is it's just I guess the now is, you know, the rainy weather has caused me to have asthmatic problems. But I don't understand it. It just, from day to day, something's different. In the last couple of days, I've just been really wheezy. Oh, that's okay. We're just gonna put it down. It'll be fine. Like I said, we'll definitely use this part here in a cluster building session. And then we'll just cover it up with something. And that's just be a background piece, you know. It'll be okay. It actually it didn't really turn out that bad, did it? I like that. The brown on the coffee. That's awesome. I think I'm gonna do the other one with black, and then we'll put this stamp set up. Even though, you know, I want to do all the colors of all the things, but, you know, I'm just showing you, you know, like just little different stamps. It's just, it ain't even really, you know, a how-to or craft with me or nothing. Well, it is a craft with me. You're sitting here while I'm talking and I'm making my stuff, but, you know, I'm not showing you how to do anything other than just the wrong way to stamp, I'm assuming. You know, Not professional stamper at all. Sorry. So, yeah. We're just doing some label stamping, cluster building type stuff. You know, that type of thing. That's why I said I have all of these colors, so I would want to stamp a page in each color. So I'd have, you know, each color option. But I definitely wanted to do that with the brown. Ooh, I love that. That is awesome. So this one is brown, and this is rusty hinge. So you see the difference? Yeah. That one's got a little more reddish tone to it. I'm not even going to worry about wiping this off. I'm just going to get what I can off of it here, and I'm going to move straight to the black ink and do this one. And this actually has a really dark purple. And it's really dark purple there. So today I took down my 2 floor standing lamps, or filming lights, or whatever you want to call them. Ring lights, I'll just say that, the 2 floor standing ring lights. I took them down that was on either side here, because like I said, I've been filming with just the one, and my overhead and my side table, my alt light. And I said, you know, this seeming to not wash everything out, and it's seeming to be okay with the lighting. So I don't want it washing everything out, because everything looks white, and that, you know, if it's a lighter color tone of material or paper, everything looked the same. Oh yes, look at that right there. Awesomeness. Love it. And the reason why I love this coffee stain so much is because it actually looks like a coffee stain cup set on it, and I love that. So I said, well, I'm going to sit down, I'm going to do my stamping stuff, and then we'll cut this apart as needed for stuff, and then I'll go take me a shower, wash my hair and all that, and then hopefully all of this ink will come out of my fingernails while I'm in the shower. Oh yeah, that looks great. I love that, because see that coffee stain right there, and then it's in that one, and it's in this one over here. That's awesome. And I do have like a little splatter thing like this right here, you know, but that's for like stamps, like tags and such for the coffee rings. Yeah, that would be for that. I'm trying so hard to get this perfect right here where I get both of those coffee rings. And that splatter, because then all of these will have a coffee ring in it. Oh yeah, see? I love that. Okie doke. We're done with that. We'll put that up. So now I'm going to clean this. I'm going to stamp this off right here. Wipe it up. And then I think I'm going to show you how I do my 12 by 12 label stamps on my 12 by 12 sheet of paper. Okay, so we got that one there. That really stack of paper right there has really just been a paperweight today. I hadn't used none of them. Let's see, with all the different colors you can take and make your each individual little stamps with that. Any color you want. So I will be trying to get those worked in the future. Okay, so now this here, this is kind of a little bit directional with the florals and the words and such. So now usually when I'll stamp this, I'll just take and I'll start in a corner and I'll stamp, and that'll be a stamp, and I'll do this, and I do that all the way down the page. Every once in a while I'll take and use these and stamp different, but that's the one I usually use because it's different. See, so like here you'll get that floral in it, you know, and then you'll have little backgrounds, and then you'll get down here, you'll have that floral in it and little backgrounds, you know, then you'll have words and stuff like that. So we're going to do this one first, and then these are non-directional backgrounds, just pretty colors. Then you have these shapes. Now, I have not tried to take and stamp these shapes and see if my, I want to see if my cutter will cut them out. That's what I'm wanting to do here, is stamp this and see if my Brother Scanning Cut, I'll get the words out eventually, y'all. I'm sorry. I want to see if Brother Scanning Cut will cut these stamped pieces out of this. I'm surprised my dog is not raising sand because I'm hitting this table. Usually that's what he does. Okay. I'm going to turn it this way just so I can line it up on the edge. So see, it's my own label stamps. And this one is broken in places like that as the stamp, but that one there is not. It's just the way I didn't stamp it good. I like the smaller one just because you can take my number stamps and stamp numbers in that. Yep. So see, then that's how I stamp, and I'll stamp like that all the way down the page. That's usually what I do. So I found that these work the best to do, like, you know, all the way down to 12 by 12 page. have these as well. You can take these and do your borders in a different color. So I'm going to do 2 sets in black, then I'll probably switch over to the brown or the rusty hinge. But yeah, so then that way you have the same piece of background, but you have different borders around it. And then, so when you have really pretty background florals or prints or whatever that you find on Etsy, and you're like, well, what am I ever going to do with this right here? You print those beautiful backgrounds off, and you take and make labels out of them. Especially if you find a set that's really pretty, like that Melina 1202, where she had the real pretty floral backgrounds. And you've seen me use those quite a bit in my, like here, these here came from her. Like this backgrounds, the florals there, they came from her. So yeah, that, and it was 8.5 by 11 floral backgrounds of all different colors. And I was like, heck yeah. Alright, so there's that one. Let's get the wipe. I'm just going to give it a wipe right quick. Because I want to switch colors. Probably should have stamped that off over here too, shouldn't I? Now see, this one wipes good. Wipes and it goes back clear. But these, they stayed black. I don't understand that. And I've washed them with wet any and everything I can. And they still stay black in the middle. I don't know. Don't understand that. Now I'm trying to do this and just get the edges of it and not get in the middle. Okay, so let's see what we did here. And we got this real pretty floral in that. That's real pretty. I hope that worked. Oh, I do. I like it. Alrighty. So then most of the time I'll do half the page this way and then I'll turn and go that way. So I'll have some that are, you know, horizontal and some that are vertical. So now I'm going to do 2 brown over here that are vertical and maybe 2 or 3 of them. And then we'll go back and we'll do the black that are horizontal, I should say, not vertical. These are vertical knucklehead. And this blue is part of the paper. It's supposed to be made to look like it was water damaged. And then we have the vertical and the horizontal of the same piece. And that's how I usually do that. And this stamp block is 6 inches. And I just found me some cheap stamp sets that had label pieces in it. And that's what I do. And if you see they're squared, this one here is like a stamp piece, but they're just square and oblong. And then these are, are circular bits. So, but that's what I done. And these are real fun to do, like different colored background papers. Like all of these I pulled out because they were really pretty, background papers that I thought would make pretty labels. Now the bigger ones you can take and you can stamp numbers in them, stamp words, whatever you'd like to do with those. Do one more in that brown. Then we'll do the rest of them in the black. And then that page will be finished. And I think I'm going to get off of here for tonight. I don't know. I'm not feeling well today. I'm just tired. Not really like sick feeling. I just feel tired. I didn't really get a whole lot of sleep last night. 4 o'clock in the morning this morning, we got a thunderstorm like crazy. Nobody in my house heard it. They were all knocked out. I was like, oh, that storm that bad? Yeah, it sure did. Yeah, it sounded like the side of the house was coming off. Like it would, lightning and thunder would crash, and the whole house would shake. And I was just like, oh no, let me stay awake a little bit more, just in case. Okay, I'm going to stamp this one this way. So you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And if you stayed that way, you basically, get 12 sets of stamps. And I don't put them real close. I don't even try to aim for what I'm stamping. I just put it to where, I can see the edge of the other stamp. And then I just put it down. Move this one over. Try to get that flower in this one and in the other one. Oh yeah, that worked out good. So this is something that, you can sit and listen to someone else craft and talk on their video. Or you could probably do this and watch a movie. You just look down while you're, putting a stamp on your paper or what have you. And it is a big reason why I wanted to move those lights out from over here. Because I can work on that side of my table and watch my TV. And be just fine and dandy and happy. So I like to do that a lot. Projects like this where it's, stamping, it's kind of mindless, crafting kind of. Where you don't really have to hold a whole lot of creativity thinking. You're going to put ink on it and put it on there. You know what I'm saying? So, those kind of crafty deals, I like working and watching TV. Or listening to the TV. Most of the time, I'm just listening to the TV. When I'm fussing cutting, I'll pick something like the Murder Mystery or something like that. The 48 Hours. Cold Case Files or something like that. Because those are good. Because they talk during the whole thing. You don't really have to actually watch it. You can just listen to it. And then you can keep right on along, just fussy cutting and running it through and all of that. That one I'm just going to peel off of there. Because even though like I said, I've washed these actually with soap and water, and they still will not get the black ink off of them. Which could have been because I did not clean them properly the first time I used them. And that's why they have the black backs. Or it could be because they are Temu stamps. And that's just the way that it happens. And I do leave them on my stamp boards. I don't, you know, I know I'm a bad stamp person, but I'm just being honest with you. When I find something that works and I like using that, then it's gonna stay on that stamp block. And if it comes off, I'll stick it back on there. But most of the time, my stamps stay on the stamp blocks. Like especially all these label stamps, you know, they work great. And then I know I've showed this before. This was just a little photo, 4x6 photo album. And so here's some of those 4x6 stamps. Like this would be great for little background grungy pieces to stamp on stuff. All of this stuff would be. And there's some little ABCs and some different numbers. And then here's some script backgrounds. I know that's probably glaring like crazy, but those would be great to stamp on the backgrounds, tags. I love this script here. So, and then we have postage stamps. This is the one where I was talking about. I have the postage postcard set that I could do, but it's not quite as big as I thought it was. And then just different music lines and stuff like that, where you could take a real quick, just a little block stamp and put a piece of music on there. Happy birthday. And then this set here with this is a pretty set to make, if you can see without the glare, to take and put, that's rose with script, butterfly. And I like that, you know, this one's horizontal. So I like to do stuff like that on different color backgrounds. Or do it on the coffee and tea dye backgrounds. There's my Paris set. That came from Temu. And then like these, I have these here pieces that would be great to make some grungy clusters. I would like to do that. And then I have this whole piece set here that it's like a John Lewis Childs that has all these roses and stuff on it. That's real pretty. And then I just have, you know, little twigs and stuff like that from the Dollar Tree. That's where I got them from, little twiggy things. But yeah, so most of them are in here. And then I have this stack here that are butterfly backgrounds, little floral bits and stuff like that. Bees. Most of this all here is bee stuff. I went bee crazy. Okie dokie. So I'm going to get off here for today. We'll work on getting these pieces cut out and used up. I would like to have one of those Glow Blend whole page stamps, like a 8. I'm putting these in here. I would like to have a 8.5 by 11 Glow Blend stamp set. I think that would be nice. You know, this stuff that are the good background pieces. So now I keep all of my stamps in this, in a container like this I got from the Dollar Tree. And I keep all of my blocks in one of these on a little cart underneath my desk. And so I keep the music stamp on that stamp and put it right in there. And these are my extra stamps here. But that's what I do. I know you probably are not supposed to do that, but that's what I do. So then, you know, if I'm like, ooh, I need a label, and I just pull them out, boop, there we go. Label it. You know, it's done. And this is a little box that my dad got me. It's like a little mini tackle box type thing. So I store my ink, black ink pads up here. And this is all of my colored ink daubers with their names on them. And then I have extras here. So, super happy with that. I was like, ooh, look, I could put all my inks and daubers in that. Keep them in one spot. And then this one here is the Tim Holtz. You saw that. Did I put that up? Yes, I did. So I have my extra daubers here for the ones that I use in this. And just switch them out. So I'm happy at the moment with the colors that I have. I do want, I think it is a honey that I'm wanting. I think that's the name of it, the Tim Holtz Honey, I think is what I'm wanting for, you know, of course, my bees and my bee journals and my sunflower journals. So yeah, so then we'll just take and just cut these apart, and that'll be pretty little labels. I love that. That's cute. And then we'll have all of these pieces here that we've stamped on the coffee dye. That's the black. This is the brown. And then this is a gather twig color. I like those. That's more of kind of a gold tone to it. That's real pretty. And then this is that, what was that? I think it's, can't read it. Venomous Poison. And that's what, ooh, somebody flipped them upside down, didn't they? So we had the Venomous Poison. That's the color of these, this purple. Isn't that going to be fun? Just the Fussy Tear even this stuff out. Yeah, I like that a lot. They turned out great. So that's going to be some bits to take and play with here in a couple weeks. And we actually might take and play with some of them tomorrow. Make some clusters with. So thank you all for coming along with me playing with my stamps. And I didn't do nowhere near what I needed to do for my stamping. But that's just a little bit of it. So I think what I'm going to do is, because it gets you so messy, you know, and I don't like to be messy. I don't like my hands being dirty at all. I just don't. That's why I don't do a whole lot of the mixed media type stuff, is because I don't like my hands being dirty like that. I'm going to take this and put it back up because I've got a box underneath my desk and all of this goes in and I keep stored in there. This I'm wanting to take and be like an innard of a, so I'll get like a table mat or a tablecloth or something like that, and I'll slide this in between it and glue it back together so it gives it a little bit of sturdiness to it. And that's what I use, is this stuff here. Thank y'all for coming along with me and watching me stamp and play for a little bit, and we'll talk to y'all tomorrow. Have a good night.